Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Friday, April 7th. It is the last day of the first day of both the week, month, and the quarter. So interesting week this has been all around. It's been mostly flat in terms of crypto trading. We obviously did have a bit of a try of a breakout very early in the week, but has been very slow. And so we're looking at DXY now, but it is important to caveat that today is Good Friday. There is no U.S. markets trading today. So I'm not going to focus on this too much, but, it is important to note that we did, price did rise into the resistance of price did rise into the lows of May, which is resistance, and has been stalled. So we will not see this trading until Sunday. So it'll be, a bit of a non-factor, and it is, still cut at resistance. So, it's definitely not guaranteed to go up or should not impact trading this weekend. But it is important to note that, it is starting to get to the point where you've broken the RSI trend, and we have seen this before where it has not risen for quite some time after that, but you would expect some sort of rise, maybe, reset RSI. It will not stay very low forever. So something to consider there, although that is an imperfect science. So in my guess, I think the DXY will eventually try and rise up to 102.5, but how much that affects things, if it is gradual and then ends up dropping back down, we'll have to see. So not too much of a focus there. The equities futures, closed quite well, well above the lows on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So back well in the quote unquote weekly range. That's definitely what you want to see, and it is above the mid range. It's also above the VWAP, so positive price action from equities there. But the one interesting thing that we got today was the U.S. unemployment report, which, although slightly lower in terms of U.S. employment, the unemployment rate actually dipped, which was not what I was expecting. I was expecting that to rise based on the ADP employment report, based on job openings. So it was definitely not expected, but we did have wage inflation decrease. And wage inflation is something that Jerome Powell has talked about a lot, but I don't hear a lot in the media or from a lot of pundits. So the fact that wage inflation was down, and although we did employ less people than expected, the unemployment rate is still very, very strong comparative, looking at historical comparisons. 3.5% is extremely low unemployment historically in America. So fascinating there, but wage inflation slightly decreasing, well down from the 4.6% previously. So this is a major positive, even though this number was not exactly what we expected. So this, may play into crypto and will kind of port into some things that we're talking about, but we'll mainly see this data end up being reflected Sunday evening and into Monday morning of next week around the US Open after the weekend holiday is closed. So looking at Bitcoin, I think it's very straightforward. We've clearly been hovering at a support level since Wednesday of about 27.8. Obviously, you have several wicks down, and it has recovered at this level. So the moral of the story is, if you can hold the 27.8 level, you can make your way up to the VWAP for a potential, acceptance above the VWAP and then heading higher. So getting up to 28.2. Possibly 28.3 or 4. If you fail, if we get up here to the 28K or 28.1K level, which is previous daily close, 1 hour estimated 200 moving average, and VWAP, so a lot of confluence of resistance there. If you get up there, we could potentially just get rejected back down, which would then just send us back to 27.8 again, and then we're in this very tight range for Bitcoin. And of course, if we do break below 27.8, which is below the recent lows, then we're likely to head down to Sunday and or Monday's lows, which would be 27.6, possibly 27.2, because just to zoom out a little bit, this wick is obviously the low from Monday. So we have not swept these lows, and we did not even sweep the lows from Sunday. So very interesting that it has not occurred. It doesn't need to occur, but typically in moments of weakness, you would expect that type of price action to occur. So, the moral of the story here is, until we break support, there is no trade. And until we break resistance, there is no trade. I have no desire to trade this range, but I do know a decision will be made eventually. And those are the triggers, and I expect them to continue to be the triggers this weekend and into next week if literally nothing happens in terms of volatility this weekend. So looking at Ethereum, also very clean price action. We held at the VWAP on Thursday, broke beneath the VWAP Thursday evening, and was rejected by the VWAP pretty much all day, or pretty much the entirety of early this morning and into today. We did get slightly above the VWAP, then now we're just hovering around it. So until we flip the VWAP into supports, that would be your trajectory to then attack the previous daily close at 1875, possibly top a range at 1890. If you do get up here and fail at the previous daily close, then you'll probably get sent back down and form just this little tiny range that we've got going on here. And obviously, if you breach support, which is around 1845, but obviously the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average is still holding it up. If you break below that, then I would say your first stop would be bottom of the VWAP. The VWAP, window, if you want to call it that, which would be about 1817, 1820, and then possibly low end of the range, which would be about 1800. So again, very similar to Bitcoin is, you're trading in this very tiny range and you have, potential to break up or break below. But until that happens, there's no real clean trade. So ETH is probably a bit of a cleaner trade because, we could potentially draw something like this and say, if you can flip, that kind of coincides with where resistance is too. So if it trades here for a couple more hours, flips that, and then heads to the previous daily close, then you're setting up for a rejection or acceptance higher. Same here, if we did end up having, boost, it would look like that. And then I would say it would probably look more like this than just, a straight drop down. So that's pretty much the outlook. There unfortunately is no clear read. Even the data we got today is mixed. Lower employment numbers, higher unemployment data, lower hourly wages. So very odd print today, and I think you're seeing that reflected in crypto. So if I was to take a wild guess, I would say that we're probably gonna have very low volatility over the weekend, and we'll probably just end up crabbing around 27.8 and 28K. Maybe we get up to 28.2. Maybe we have a wick down to 27.6, but I think that we'll probably end up trading flat. But the triggers are obvious. So until I see one of those triggers, I'm not really taking any trades. And I think it's best to just be calm and wait for the weekend. It is a holiday weekend. So although the crypto casino is open while the, equities and TradeFi are closed, it is a holiday weekend and an international holiday weekend. It's a, big religious week across the three major religions, and I'm sure many auxiliary religions as well. So just be mindful of that. In addition to your trading, is that many people are taking religious observance seriously, or just using it to just take a break from everything, as it has been quite a busy year and an especially busy past several weeks. So if you were to take a weekend off, I think this would probably be the weekend to do it. But if you wanted to set trades and alerts, you clearly know your resistance levels that we need to flip. You clearly know your support levels that we need to flip for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, the high beta assets will play if things continue higher. It would make sense that, other high beta plays in relation to Bitcoin and ETH are also having a little bit of fun as well. So until I see some fun being had on the chart, I'm just going to take a step back. But this will be a very casual weekend, I feel like, for the most part. So good luck, happy trading, see everybody on Monday, enjoy the long weekend if you are celebrating, and happy Ramadan, Passover, and Easter to all of those around the world.